Ever since Marie Kondo introduced us to the life-changing magic of sparking joy, millions have embarked on decluttering journeys, hoping to transform their homes into peaceful sanctuaries. But despite our best intentions and countless hours of watching organizing videos, many of us still find ourselves drowning in clutter. Why? The answer might surprise you. Today we're pulling back the curtain on 10 hidden decluttering mistakes that even the most dedicated organizers make. Let's start with a mistake that's probably happening in your home right now: the infamous drop zones. You know those spaces: the kitchen counter that somehow becomes a paper magnet, the hallway table that transforms into a catch-all for keys, mail, and random items that never quite make it to their proper homes. These drop zones are the silent saboteurs of our organizing efforts, and they're particularly sneaky because they start innocently enough. Maybe it's just a single piece of mail today, but by the end of the week, you're looking at a mountain of clutter that's become a permanent feature of your home. The psychology behind drop zones is fascinating. They often occur in transition areas where we're moving from one activity to another, and our brain tells us, I'll deal with this later, but later rarely comes. And these spaces become overwhelming evidence of our postponed decisions. Speaking of postponed decisions, one of the most overlooked aspects of successful decluttering is the involvement of other household members. Picture this: you spend an entire weekend organizing the living room, only to find it back to square one within days, because your family wasn't part of the process. This isn't just about getting extra hands on deck. It's about creating a shared vision and understanding of how your home should function. When everyone participates in the decluttering process, they develop a sense of ownership and responsibility for maintaining the space. They also better understand the organizational systems you're putting in place, making it more likely that items will return to their designated spots. A particularly modern pitfall in the decluttering journey is the comparison trap, amplified by social media and home organization shows. We've all been there, scrolling through perfectly styled Instagram photos of immaculate homes or watching time-lapse videos of dramatic transformations that seem to happen in minutes. This constant exposure to curated perfection can be deeply demotivating when you're facing your own cluttered space. What these perfectly staged photos don't show is the messy middle, the multiple attempts, and the personal journey that led to that result. Your home and your decluttering journey are uniquely yours, influenced by your lifestyle, family size, work schedule, and countless other factors that make direct comparisons not just unhelpful but potentially harmful to your progress. Now, let's talk about an emotional hurdle that stops many people in their tracks: the guilt associated with parting with gifts. This is where sentiment and practicality often clash, creating a mental gridlock that keeps unnecessary items in our homes. The truth is, a gift's purpose is fulfilled in the moment it's given. It's an expression of love, thought, or appreciation. The physical item itself isn't the relationship, and keeping things out of obligation doesn't honor the giver's intention to bring joy into your life. Consider taking photos of sentimental items before letting them go, or keeping one representative piece from a collection instead of everything. Environmental consciousness adds another layer of complexity to decluttering decisions. In our rush to clear spaces, we often don't consider the environmental impact of our disposal choices. The throw it all away approach contributes to overflowing landfills and waste problems that affect our planet. However, this awareness shouldn't paralyze your decluttering efforts. Instead, it should inform how you approach both acquiring and disposing of items. Taking time to research proper recycling methods, finding specialized recycling facilities for electronics and hazardous materials, and exploring upcycling options can make your decluttering journey more environmentally responsible. A simple yet crucial oversight is not having a designated donate box readily available in your home. This might seem like a minor detail, but it's actually a game changer in maintaining a clutter-free space. When you come across items that no longer serve you, having an immediate action plan and a physical space to execute it removes the friction from the decision-making process. The key is placing these boxes in convenient locations where you're most likely to encounter items that need to be rehomed. Think about keeping one in your closet for clothing, one in your garage for household items, and even one in your home office for books and papers. Even with a well-organized donation system, many people fall into the trap of procrastinating on actually taking items to donation centers. Those bags and boxes of perfectly good items sit in your garage or trunk, taking up space and, ironically, creating another form of clutter. This procrastination often stems from not building donation runs into your regular routine. The items remain in limbo, neither serving you nor helping others who could use them. The solution is to treat donation runs with the same importance as other errands. Schedule them regularly and combine them with other tasks in the same area to make the trip more efficient. Boundary setting around new items entering your home is perhaps one of the most challenging aspects of maintaining a clutter-free space. Well-meaning friends and family members can unintentionally contribute to clutter through generous but unneeded gifts, hand-me-downs, or great deals they couldn't pass up. Learning to communicate your preferences clearly and kindly is essential. This might mean having conversations about experience gifts rather than physical presents, creating wish lists when people insist on giving gifts, or being honest about your space limitations and organizing goals. In our increasingly digital world, physical clutter is only part of the equation. Digital clutter, those thousands of unread emails, numerous downloaded files, countless open browser tabs, and unused apps, can be just as overwhelming as physical mess. This invisible clutter affects our productivity and mental clarity, creating digital anxiety that many people don't even realize they're experiencing. The principles of physical decluttering apply to digital spaces as well. Regular maintenance, clear organizational systems, and decisive action on whether to keep or delete items. The final and perhaps most crucial mistake is not establishing consistent tidying habits. Many people approach decluttering as a one-time event rather than an ongoing process. They might spend a weekend organizing their entire home, but fail to implement daily practices that maintain that order. Think of it like personal hygiene. You wouldn't skip brushing your teeth for a week just because you had a dental cleaning. The same principle applies to your home. Small daily actions like processing mail immediately, returning items to their homes after use, and doing quick evening reset routines prevent clutter from accumulating in the first place. The journey to a clutter-free home is ongoing, and understanding these common mistakes is just the beginning. Keep watching the second part of this video as we tackle how to fix the 10 decluttering mistakes we identified. Consider the impact of drop zones, for instance. One effective strategy for combating these clutter magnets is to create intentional, organized landing spots that work with your natural habits rather than against them. For example, if you consistently drop your keys and mail on the kitchen counter, instead of fighting this tendency, install a small, attractive wall-mounted organizer nearby with designated spots for keys, mail, and other frequently dropped items. The key is to make the organized option more convenient than the cluttered one. You might include a small recycling bin for junk mail and a file sorter for bills and important documents, making it easy to process items as soon as they enter your home. The challenge of involving household members in decluttering can be particularly daunting for parents of young children. One approach that's proven successful is turning organization into a game or challenge. Create a declutter scavenger hunt, where kids search for specific categories of items to donate or organize. For teenagers, consider implementing a one-in, one-out rule for their possessions, helping them understand the concept of space limitations while giving them autonomy over their choices. Regular family meetings about home organization can also help everyone feel invested in the process and understand the reasoning behind certain systems. The comparison trap becomes especially dangerous in our social media age, where organization sets unrealistic expectations. It's worth noting that many of those perfectly styled photos represent spaces that have been specifically arranged for photography, often by professional organizers and stylists. Instead of comparing your space to these idealized images, consider documenting your own progress with before and after photos. This personal record can be incredibly motivating when you're feeling discouraged, as it shows your actual progress rather than an impossible standard. When it comes to gift-related guilt, consider implementing a gift protocol in your home. This might include a dedicated space for new gifts with a time limit. If the item hasn't been used within 3 months, it gets donated. This system helps remove the emotional aspect of the decision-making process by creating a clear, objective criterion for keeping or letting go of gifted items. You might also start a tradition of writing thank you notes that focus on the giver's thoughtfulness rather than the item itself, helping to separate the physical object from the sentiment behind it. Environmental consciousness in decluttering deserves special attention in our current climate crisis. Consider creating a disposal station in your home with separate containers for different types of items: traditional recycling, electronics recycling, items that need special disposal, like batteries or paint, and donations. Research local recycling facilities and organizations that can properly handle different materials. Some areas have specialized recycling programs for unusual items like crayons, cosmetic containers, or even old yoga mats. Building relationships with these facilities and understanding their requirements can make environmentally conscious disposal much more manageable. The concept of a readily available donation box can be expanded into a complete departure lounge system. This might include multiple boxes or bags labeled for different destinations. General donations, specific friends or family members who might want certain items, consignment shops for valuable pieces, and recycling centers. The key is to make the sorting process as simple as possible while ensuring items go to their most appropriate next home. Procrastination with donations often stems from making the process too complicated. Consider setting up a recurring calendar reminder for donation runs, perhaps coordinating with other regular activities like grocery shopping or gym visits. Some donation centers even offer pickup services, which can be scheduled in advance. Building these donation runs into your routine removes the mental burden of deciding when to go and makes it more likely you'll follow through. Setting boundaries around new items entering your home can be particularly challenging during holidays and special occasions. One effective strategy is to be proactive rather than reactive. Before gift-giving occasions, reach out to family and friends with specific suggestions that align with your organizing goals. This might include experience gifts, consumable items, or contributions to a specific fund, like a vacation or education fund. When people understand that their gifts will be more appreciated and used if they align with your preferences, they're often happy to comply. Digital clutter requires its own set of strategies and habits. Consider implementing a digital maintenance day once a month, where you clean up your computer, phone, and other devices. This might include unsubscribing from newsletters you no longer read, organizing photos into albums, deleting unused apps, and clearing out old downloads. Just as you wouldn't let papers pile up indefinitely on your desk, don't let digital files accumulate without regular review and organization. Creating sustainable tidying habits requires understanding the psychology of habit formation. Start with tiny, manageable habits that can be easily integrated into your existing routine. For example, begin with a 2-minute reset of one small area each evening, gradually expanding the practice as it becomes automatic. Use habit stacking by attaching new organizing habits to existing routines. For instance, sorting through one drawer while your morning coffee brews, or reviewing your email inbox while waiting for dinner to cook. The key to long-term success in avoiding these decluttering mistakes is to create systems that work with your natural tendencies rather than against them. Remember that organization is not about perfection, but about creating a space that supports your lifestyle and brings you peace. By understanding and actively working to avoid these common mistakes, you're not just creating a tidier home. You're developing a sustainable approach to organization that can last a lifetime.